Imagine, if you will, a world where Donald Trump retains the presidency. How would that landscape shape the lives of Black Americans? Would it be a stark contrast to the presidencies of others, or would it follow a similar trajectory? Donald Trump's presidency was marked by a distinct rhetoric and policies that some argue disproportionately affected Black Americans. His stance on criminal justice, for instance, was a far cry from the reformist approach of his predecessor, Barack Obama, where Obama sought to reduce mandatory minimum sentences for nonviolent drug offenses, a move that directly benefits Black Americans disproportionately incarcerated for such offenses. Trump championed a return to the law and order rhetoric of the past. Additionally, Trump's slogan, "Make America Great Again," spurred controversy. Some interpreted it as a nostalgic call return to an era when racial injustice was even more rampant and slavery was prevalent. Under Trump's administration, the Department of Justice rolled back investigations into police departments, a move that potentially undermines the fight against systemic racism within the police force. This stands in stark contrast to the Obama administration, which used such investigations to enforce reforms. However, it's not all black and white. Trump's presidency also saw the passage of the First Step Act, a criminal justice reform bill that did offer some benefits to Black Americans. But could this be seen as an outlier rather than a defining feature of his presidency? Now let's shift gears and consider the potential impacts of other presidencies. The Biden administration, for example, has pledged to address racial inequality through extensive legislative and administrative action. Yet, it remains to be seen how these promises will translate into tangible change for Black Americans. It's also worth noting that not all presidents before Trump have championed the cause of racial equality. For instance, Richard Nixon's war on drugs policy has been widely criticized for its devastating impacts on Black communities. In sum, the potential impacts of Trump's presidency on Black Americans are a mixed bag, ranging from policies that could potentially exacerbate systemic racism to those that offer some hope for reform. This stands in stark contrast to other presidencies, some of which have actively sought to address racial inequality, while others have contributed to its persistence. Yet despite these differences, one common thread remains: the resilience and strength of Black Americans in the face of systemic challenges. And it is this resilience that will continue to shape the future, regardless of who occupies the Oval Office.